Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Ayagelefash. If it's your first time, thank you so much for joining me. If you're a returning subscriber, I love you, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for always coming back. All right, so today, as you guys can see, I have your fave on the channel. Okay, so yeah, I have my husband here today, and before I move forward, please, stranger, can you introduce yourself?
Okay. Okay, may God.
Why are you laughing? Are you not a stranger?
My name is Wole. It's been a long time. I can't even remember the last time in terms of date now, timing, but it's been a while. But we have to come back. I don't know. I wanted to say by popular demand, but so that somebody will not be proud. I'm back. I'm back. That's what matters, right?
Pride, though, pride.
That's what matters.
Popular demand. Who is demanding you? Sorry, hot bread.
I detect jealousy.
hot bread. Popular demand. I don't blame you. It's the people on the channel that I blame. They don't rate me now. It's every time. Every video I post this couple of days. It's been a while to see Mr. Fash. Hope all is well. Mr. Fash. What's going on with Mr. Fash?
It's been
what?
It's been a while now, but at least I want to believe a lot of them are in Nigeria, so they know that we are having it great. Let's not say
something else. Let's be prophesying to Nigeria. Nigeria will get better.
Exactly.
Anyways, all right, so today late last night actually, so it's not even really been a long time, I asked you guys to ask us any questions that you guys may have, since you guys have been asking for Mr. Fash. So Mr. Fash is here if you guys have any question that you want to ask him. Anyway, so I asked you guys in on my community tab. By the way, the questions that I know I asked late last night, so we've not really gotten a lot of responses, but we got substantial responses, and we'll try to answer some of your questions on this video. Some of your questions were about us and our relationship. Others were about your own life and your relationship, asking for advice. And I am so thankful to as many that asked sensible questions. Yes. Those that I'm not throwing shade at any. I don't even have the energy or the time to throw shade at anybody, but I'm just, most of you Fash fans, most of you, like, I really like how some of you behave, but the rest of you need wisdom. Anyway, so let us move on. I am going to, let me sort these questions by the oldest comments, okay, so that we can move from there. Okay,
all right.
So the first person to ask is Buluwatife, and she said, how are you both navigating the distance marriage so far? That's the long distance marriage so far. I feel you may have talked about this before I feel like you may have talked about this before in much earlier videos, but more time has passed and there may be more interesting things to share. That's why I ask you. Hopefully my question is relevant. Of course it is relevant. I think I was actually expecting at least one person to ask this question, like, how are we navigating long distance? So Mr. Fash, how are you navigating distance marriage?
I think I'll start I think it's the in thing now. Maybe I'll start a WhatsApp course.
What?
Or a webinar.
WhatsApp course? No, it's podcast.
Or a webinar.
Where is the WhatsApp course? It's podcast that is raining now
it's podcast.
On Instagram. Everybody is doing podcast.
Okay,
yes.
Maybe I'll do a podcast.
And you actually do well in podcast because you have the sexy voice.
Hey.
You have the nice baritone voice.
Well done.
Oh, my brother. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Answer the question.
And so I'm saying maybe I'll start a podcast in order to be a married bachelor. But
married single.
Bachelor, yes. So, but I don't know. I don't think there is a definite specialized way to go about it. You just get used to it. Try to feel as much as possible, fill your time with something to do or something to engage your time, and it won't make it less it won't make you less lonely, if I want to put it in that, like that, but at least.
So you are feeling lonely?
My friend, will you let me finish answering the question first? So As I was saying before, some people rudely interrupted. You get so.
Apologies.
So, so it's not like you're going to ever. I mean, it will just help you, deal with or cope, if I can put it like that. It's. I mean, it's not one of those things that gets better, but maybe it gets a bit more. You get more familiar with it. So, handling it.
But what have you been doing? Like, what has been the conscious thing you've been doing to be able to cope? Just maybe in case somebody else is going through this, what would you give from your own perspective? What do you think has been able to make it easier for you?
Okay, a number of things. I think the understanding that there is an expected end, that all of this has it's for a purpose, and each day brings it closer. It counts, so you get to calm down. I mean, that's one thing. Two, I like work, so
of course.
I've had to engage my time with more things to do. There are also other personal development exercise that takes a bit of time, so I barely have time for myself or for many things. And then I also know that my wife is doing this exactly, almost if not more, the same thing. She's quite busy, so we snatch conversations here and now, we talk here and now, but I mean, of course, the communication is constant and all that. Awareness that this is just it's for a short period of time, no matter how long it looks, and we do constant reminder for each other. So if I'm the one in the blues, she does the reminding and all that, and if the situation is swapped, I do the same. And then sometimes if it is both of us, we find ways to encourage each other. Just take it one day at a time, because if you look at the days or the hours that needs to pass, you can get discouraged, you can get bothered, you can get not because you feel anything is going to happen, but you just it's just normal human feeling.
You feel sad.
Yes, you get. So what you do is just take it a day at a time. At least for me, I think for us, it's one of the things we do. Take it a day at a time. Yeah. So. Yeah,
I think that's it. But I think based on your question, like you said, we've addressed this before. I think that from the last time we addressed this question, I remember, I think the last time we did a video together was our anniversary. Well, about us is during our anniversary, before we talked about infidelity and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that was the time we gave an update about how we're doing, and I think we are doing good still, but obviously a lot has changed. I think our reading, when we started, there's been a lot of lapses in that, which we've had to talk about several times, because last semester I think I had a more flexible hours. Like, I don't have to wake up early to go to work, so we can easily catch up before I go to work. Like, when I wake up, you're the first voice I'm hearing and all of that. When I get back home, like, it was easier for us to talk last semester, but this semester has been tougher. And also because you've also, of course, had some responsibilities in your workplace that has even made you even busier. And me, like, I hardly have time. I wake up very early, I'm at work, from work going to school. It's just been a lot compared to the last time we give an update. I think we've had to be more intentional about communicating. Sometimes for weeks, the only thing we are saying, how was your day? It was fine. How is your own? Fine. We just small, what happened around, what, and then we'll go to bed. And there are weekends like that we'll talk for hours and hours and hours, right? So, but I think it's just finding your rhythm, and just like my husband said, taking it one day at a time. For him, I know that definitely work has been keeping him very, very, very busy. So when you have something to engage your mind, you're not really, the days are going, but you're not really, it's different when you don't have anything to do and you're constantly thinking about, when will I see this person and all of that. But when you're engaged, you keep yourself and your mind busy. And when you get to have those feelings, because those feelings come, like when I have those feelings, I go to our old vlogs that on my channel, and then I watch us together, the good times. Because sometimes, because you are intentionally trying not to dwell on things, you start to forget what it feels like to have somebody in your corner, what it feels like to be married. I know that happened to me, so sometimes, while that is good because it makes you not feel sad all the time. Sometimes you need that reminder, because if care is not taken, you start to take the other person for granted, because you start to have a new rhythm that does not involve the other person, and you know, before you know what is happening, you know, you start to forget how things really are. So I go back to our vlogs, I watch it, I enjoy those moments, and
wow. Nothing. Did I say anything? I just said
wow.
Well, when you're speaking wisdom, my dear, you're speaking wisdom.
I'm speaking wisdom.
Yes.
Anyway, so, and then we talk, we gist when we gist, but we keep ourselves engaged, and I think that's one of the things that has, you know, made it quite a little bit easier. But it's never as, it's not, like my husband said, it's not cast in stone. Some days are more difficult than other days, but you keep going and you keep praying and you keep looking at the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is very soon, someday in the nearest future, we are going to be together again, and think of all the dirty things you're going to do together when you meet. Okay, anyways,
come again.
I didn't say anything. Let's move on.
Okay. All right.
The next question. What do you want to say?
I said
as if it's not something that's been going through your mind.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't hear what you said.
Next question. I said that you think
I didn't ask you to repeat it again. My friend, you have said next question. Let's go to next question, Abby. Why are you dancing front and back like?
Anyways, Reggie said, for me, I don't really have a question. I just like the vibe Mr. Fash brings and his intellect. Now, wow. So I am happy and I cannot wait. Well, here you go. Thank you. Did you hear that? I know your head is swelling up right away. Your head is swelling up, but no problem. Do you have anything to say to Reggie?
I would say thank you very kindly, Reggie. Thank you for how do I put it now?
See, as if it's giving keynote speech. Thank you for.
I want to say
next
that.
Question.
My friend, please don't interrupt this very important moment. Thank you. Now, so I want. All right. So I just want to say thank you. I wish you know how much of this how much. How do I put it now? How much of this so-called intelligence that this woman contributes to in the background? So I wanted to say, while I acknowledge the regard, I just wanted to say thank you for coming. I mean, she keeps you coming back. I just come 1-2 times to use baritone to say most things that she's been saying, so it looks like one thing, but believe me, it's a team thing.
It's a team thing. Anyways,
are you happy now? Are you happy now?
I'm happy. Thanks a lot. Oladayo said, you are in the US and Mr. Fash is in Nigeria. How are you guys coping? Please tutor us on the basics. Can't wait to hear from you. That's what we just spoke about. So on to the next one. Moyosore said, no question, but looking forward to the nuggets. What?
You called Moyosore once. Like you didn't stutter.
Why would I stutter? I'm your. See the way this guy used to berate my Yoruba. Like, hey, see. The way he used to berate my Yoruba, you used to think that. Hey, oh my God. Anyway,
I just commended you, young lady. I just commended you.
It's an insult. I'm a Yoruba girl, born and bred Yoruba. I speak Yoruba. I am one of these days, Isha, one of these days, we're going to do a video purely Yoruba, not speaking of English. Guys, if you want that video, put it in the comment section below. The only problem is the kiloshepe, the translation. That's what's going to be a problem, because we have to that's going to be a very tough video to edit. But one of these days, we're going to do a whole video just speaking Yoruba. Let me know if you guys want that video in the comment section. Then we will see who exactly is the Yoruba speaker. Okay, let's move on.
All right. I love being a good challenge.
I was saying. Moyosori said, no question, but looking forward to the nuggets Mr. Fash will drop. Which nugget are you people looking for? Tori Olo.
If your money,
may God continue to bless Epele and Lessa. May God continue to bless and keep you both. Amen. Okay, the Oreo first said, my friend is getting married in a few months' time, and the plan is for her to travel to Canada after the wedding, then apply for her husband's work permit when she's there. And she's so scared of the waiting time. She doesn't know how long it's going to take for her husband's visa to be approved. Do you think the separation period is worth it? Sir? Mr. Nuggets, please go ahead.
Okay, what I would say is this. It depends on your reason. I don't think we can help, but I'm not sure that we have the ability to communicate what you'd like to hear right now. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being, I don't know. But I feel like in the first place, both you, the lady and the husband have to decide for themselves why they want to take this kind of a step and what they are hoping to achieve from it. From that standpoint, it becomes obvious or clear to them if it is worth it or not. And if it is worth it, they would have to get mentally, emotionally, psychologically prepared for the fact that plans can change, dates or deadline or timeline can shift. It's going to take a strain on. It's going to take a strain on their relationship, on their finances, on a lot of things, on their psychology, if you like. But what end goal would determine if they consider it worth it or not. People take this kind of steps for different reasons, and the importance they attach to those reasons help them evaluate if it's worth it or not. So it might take a bit of a time. I think of most of these countries now, Canada may be the one that takes the most in terms of time and all those ones. But people who
I think US beats them to that one.
You said? So, babe.
I said I think US beats them to that. Like timing for US getting interview dates, it can be very crazy.
Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I think bearing the interview date thingy, the processes. I mean, until the date became a problem post-COVID, processes for US, UK, and many of all these countries aren't as onerous as Canada. But then, most people who end up making it to Canada always come back to describe it as being worth it. At least generally. Of course, there'll be exceptions, but generally speaking. So, I'd like to encourage you and your husband to have a very a sit together and discuss, identify for yourselves first, and then maybe it might become a bit more easier to make decisions arising from those conversations.
I mean, just everything my husband said, whether it will be worth it or not, is dependent on what is your goal for this move. Because I was reading something online today about, a lady who is about to go for a PhD, and she's married. She has put off having kids for 2 years, and now the husband is like, no, have children, raise your children, then you can go to pursue your PhD and stuff like that. So, and the biggest thing that I saw from that is, know who you're marrying, first of all. You cannot be a person who wants to be career oriented, and this is just speaking generally. And you marry someone who wants a full housewife, because that was the issue for these people. When you guys are able to have a conversation, you're able to have an agreement, you have a goal for your family. Before me and my husband got married, I don't think we ever thought. We've done a lot of long distance relationship. You guys know our story already, but I don't think it was a conversation that I was going to go and have study or stuff like that. Those things arose in marriage. So there are times that stuff like that will arise, but there are times that you need to have that conversation. I think for us, we've had experience in it. It made it a little bit easier for us to make that decision. And my husband always knew that I always wanted to advance my career, not necessarily education, because but I'm always a person that wants to pursue things and go higher in my career, and he's always a person that supports that, right? Because he always is also someone like that too. So So whether or not this will be what it's for them is dependent on what is their goal for relocation. Is it a family goal? Is it for them to be able, because I know people who like they get married because they want to relocate on time, you know, they want to process their paper, they, you know, you have a goal, you have a reason. Why not Nigeria? What is stopping you from staying in Nigeria? Okay, maybe there's no more opportunities, maybe for the skills that you have you don't think you are being compensated well, maybe this and that. And then do you think these opportunities are available in Canada? If you have that as a goal at the back of your mind, even when the tough time comes, you know that okay, this thing we are doing, it's just a sacrifice for the greater good of what we are expecting to happen. So it makes it easier when you see it from that way, instead of my husband is far, I'm lonely, it's because there'll be days like that. There'll be days where you feel like what have we done? Did we make, God knows that we've had those days, you know, in our own marriage. But because first of all, and that's the first thing you need to do, pray about it. Be sure that this is where God wants you and your family to be in. Right, don't just make a decision out of, you know, impulse. Make sure you guys pray about it. So I think for us, it's always like, okay, we didn't come here alone. That's why whenever I face challenges, my husband will always remind me, this was not a decision you made by yourself. You were led. So go to the God who brought you here, right? And then for us, it's also because we knew we had a plan. We knew why we decided to like, okay, obey the voice of God and take this step. So every time it's always a reminder that, okay, this is not easy. This is not, you know, it's not pleasant, but we have a goal and we always look at that goal. Okay, this is why we took this step. So always go back to that, right? So yeah, I think that's it. Unless you want to add anything.
No. The sage herself has said everything. She has dropped all the nuggets.
Now, sage indeed. The next person is Ineka, and she said, I just want to hear from him to drop some word of wisdom. Okay, please drop wisdom. Mr. Wisdom. This pressure that these people are putting on him. Mr. Wisdom and Nuggets. Please drop some wisdom to your people.
You have to aspire to perspire to refire to I don't know. I don't know.
Anyways, thank you, Inika. It's actually, I know I make fun a lot, but I'm really glad that you guys, you know, consider my husband very knowledgeable. I consider him like that. That's why I married him. That's why I quickly snatched him from the market. Anyways,
I don't know which market you
see, you know the market you were before I came into your life.
My friend, even 2 Corinthians 5:17 has cleared these whole things.
What happened to 2 Corinthians 5:17? What is the past away, Abby? Anyways,
God bless you.
The next question is from CE, and he or she said, my husband is great overall, but I find myself constantly focusing on getting mad at his every little imperfections or lapses. How can I get over this? Please. What?
Over to you.
Why me?
The person spoke about their husband, and so at least, if anything,
it doesn't mean
I cannot have husband. So at least let's start from people that can have husband.
Well, you know, it's not really impossible if that's really what you want to do.
It's very impossible.
Anyways, okay, so I think I can relate to what you're saying, and I think that normally when you start to feel this way, there's always a root problem. There's always a reason why you are upset, or you're focusing on that. It's either because you know. And this is not to say this is your situation, because I've seen this happen a lot, and I know it happened to me too. Sometimes you're comparing your husband to somebody, right, or to something, or you are not just pleased with the situation that you are in, maybe financially, maybe, you know, your relationship, maybe he's not doing as much as you want, or maybe you had a lot of expectations that, you know, the man is not meeting up with, right? And sometimes expectations that you're not communicating to him, or even the ones you've communicated that he's refusing to implement. These are some of the reasons why, you know, no matter how much he's trying, you're looking at the things that he's not doing. And sometimes it could also be that he's doing a lot of things, but it's not really your love language, right? He's speaking some love language, but it's not your love language. And the things you really love him to do, he's not doing it. I remember, you know, when me and my husband used to have this fight a lot. You know, when we were in our first year / second year of marriage, you know, I always tell him that you don't show me love. You don't. I remember one particular night we had this conversation. I'm like, you don't express your love to me. You are not romantic. You are not shaking it. I always was on his neck and all of that. And I was like, you don't tell me you love me, you don't tell me I look beautiful, you don't tell me this, you don't tell me that. And I remember then I will wear clothes intentionally. I'll buy some nice dress that I know my husband would like. I'll wear it and my husband will not say anything. Or in his mind, he likes it, but he doesn't vocalize it. And to me, I will get so pissed, and just that act alone would make me, you know, feel so mad at him, and I will be so upset, and I feel like he's unloving, he's unkind. No matter how much I try, he's not doing this, he's not doing that. And I remember one night we had a conversation and we spoke about it, and I'm like, listen, you're not, you know, and I lay all my complaints at his table. And then he asked me, he said, would you rather, you know, that I tell you these things and not do these things that I do for you? Because my husband's way of showing love is doing things for you, act of service. Like, it would, you know, cut onions for me whilst I'm cooking, it would clean the house for me, it would, when I'm sick, it would bring me, it would cook for me, it would bring stuff for me. Like, he does things for me. He's always like helping me out and stuff. And it was like, would you rather that I, you know, give you talk and not do all of this? And I remember that even though we had that conversation, I felt like that was, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that was selfish, because to be honest, I enjoy every other thing that he does for me, but this part also, you need to fill that cup. You cannot fill every other cup and leave these other cups that are important to me. And you know, but thankfully he improved in that area. He started to give me more words of affirmation, and as well as, you know, acts of service and all of that, because I enjoy that aspect also, right? So I think that you need to first of all look for the root cause. Why am I focused on that? What exactly? Because trust me, it is not coming from nothing. That attitude is not coming from nothing. It's either you are uncomfortable with your situation, or you feel like your husband should be more than where he is now, or stuff like that. When you are able to identify what the issue is that is making you focus on the wrong thing, or maybe it's just that the fact that you've been in your feeds, you're always seeing people who are seemingly happy, and you wish you and your husband are like that, or you are not going on date night as much as you want to, or he's not doing something that you want him to, which is making you upset at him for every little thing he does. Trust me, that is not coming from nothing. You need to find out what exactly is the reason why I'm feeling this way. Why am I acting towards him this way? And when you identify the reason, that is the first step to making a solution. You have a conversation with him. You start, if you need to pray about, you know, certain things for him, you pray about those things. If there are things you need to change to be able to bring out those things in him, do it. For me, the affirmation, I started giving my husband affirmation. I give him affirmation every I used to give him before, but I increased it, right? And so it was, and when he doesn't do it, I will ask him, so you don't like what I'm wearing? They'll be like, did I not see anything? In my mind, I'm like, please. And then, you know, I will get upset, but I will decide not to act on it. But then sometimes I'll act on it, but little by little, he will get it, right? So you need to identify where exactly is this coming from. When you are able to identify it, you'll be able to deal with it, right? So I don't know, babe, what do you think?
I think two things are involved. Okay, first of all, you have to, when I say you, I mean the lady in question, you have to identify if all those I don't want to capture it as resentment since you didn't use resentment, but all those feelings, all those negative feelings are predicated on, how do you put it? If you feel those things and you still feel affection for him, or love, or all those kind, whatever, if at the back of, because it's possible for you to be angry with someone, or upset with someone, or even angry, you know, but you still feel affection for them. So if that part is still there, then whatever the case is, there's a solution. But if that one is absent, then it speaks more about the whole marriage itself than issues that can be resolved. So it might take a bit much more digging deep or digging down to find out what the problem may be. But if you, at the back of your mind, you still retain affection, you still feel the community of the union, that okay, we are, you still feel like they are part of your life, you're part of your world. You just are unhappy about one or two things or several things that jumps at you. Then two things too. The first thing is it about that thing itself, or it's just you transferring some disapproval from certain things to those things? Because there are some things that your partner does that it's not really a big deal. It's nothing. It's not even to you. But because your upset because of some things that maybe you don't know how to verbalize, or you feel like if you talk about it, it's going to make you look this way or that way. You find some other things to use to manifest those reservations you have. That's one. Then two, there is one that there are certain constant things that need attention, that needs to be reviewed, that somehow you guys are not coming together with. Just like my wife said now, in my instance, I'm not very verbal with praise, what do you call it, compliments and all that. I'm a thinker, so it does. I've complimented in my mind, in my head, but I may not say anything. And if I'm given chance to either write it down or something, I'll probably do a good job than talking about it. But it took us talking about it over a length of time. It took her showing me what she wants. It took me hearing different things from different sources for me to finally start to get the message, because I just could not understand. And it's not even from a bad place. And what I'm saying is vice versa. There might be one or two things that your partner is, has talked about that you can't get. Like, what's this one that it's nothing, but somehow the person cannot get past it. Now, it might take a bit of time, but you will get around and you will understand where those things are coming from. So it will involve, the first thing you may need to do for yourself is sit down and carefully, objectively find the cause. That even when it is obvious that, okay, he leaves his shoes in a place you don't like, is upsetting you, be sure it is exactly that thing or something else that thing, complements. That way, if you can trace it to the original cause, it might become a bit, if you address the first original or primordial cause, it becomes a bit more easy to solve the other ones. And if it is relational issues, like he's not saying the things I like, he's not doing the things I like, even the Bible says iron sharpeneth iron. It takes a bit of time. People grew up, I've lived their lives in a certain way, I've done things in certain ways for years. Some things they would easily adjust to, some it will take a bit of time. Like I am saying, for me it took a while for the message to start to even get to me, then for me to internalize, digest, and start to find ways to manage. And of course I forget. I don't know, I was talking one day, I don't even think I've mentioned this to you, babe, but it was in my department one day, and something came up. I can't remember the question now, and I said it. I said, for the first 1 year, my wife and I were always having issues on Sundays. That she'd dress up, I'll not say anything. If you see how the ladies...
Who are you telling this gist? Who are you giving this gist? In church?
Yes, in my department. I think essay...
go ahead.
There were one or two young ladies there, but at least I felt comfortable enough to talk. So, and I said I didn't get it. Then after a while, I said then, the one that used to fear me the most, that I never even get to tell you, is that there are days when you dress well and I will not say anything. And you will not, now, usually if I do not say anything, most times I will know is when I see your face after service. But then, it now got to a point that I will not even see anything. Then that's the one that worries me, that, Kuti sorrow. Like, before, so, then,
put it down, I'll put it in your body.
So then, it made me much more, aware of those things. So, all of those were, I don't know if I deliberately cultivated it, but it somehow helped that I'm just running my head, maybe after first service or something. Maybe I look at that corner that I used to stay, and I see I've entered church or something. And I'll now remember, I've not said anything today. I'll just carry my phone. Did I say this? did I tell you how beautiful you look this morning?
Texting in church. Whilst the pastor is preaching.
It's not when pastor is preaching stuff, and even when pastor is preaching, so the point is, it took a bit of time, but I'm not where, I'm very sure that I'm not where she'd like me to be, but I'm not where I used to be, and now you know, that's the whole point. And all of this is because it was easy for us to identify that this is why she's not happy with this thing that I do in particular. So you may have to go through a list of those things that, because by your own admission is a good person and is generally good, and you have to also identify if it is not the 80-20 thing, and not necessarily in terms of the fact that there's someone else, but because the inadequacies have been amplified in your mind eye to look bigger than the adequacies. So maybe it covers, it generally meets 70% of your requirements, but there are about 15% that is lacking on, and somehow you have made those 15 look more important than the 70. Meanwhile, the 70 is actually the most important things. The 15, it's not like they are bad. It's not, I mean, it's not like they are not important, but they are complementary. The most important boxes the person ticks already, but there are some things that, I mean, in relational terms that you need and they are not there, but you're somehow fixated on that. All of those has to come from a place of deep introspection, so you'd have to discover for yourself first of all. Until you do that, it may be difficult for you to either collapse the timeline, these kind of things will continue in your marriage, or how long you stay unhappy to. So it's a function of some of those things. Let me not finish the nugget I brought today.
Don't finish the wisdom.
You get?
Leave
Yes.
small
I brought so many, but let me not finish it. You understand?
Problem. Becky said, just want to see Mr. Fash. It's been a minute. It's okay. Love you, sis. Well done. Thank you, sis. I appreciate you. Okay. Abiodu Obotala said, when will Mr. Fash join you and how is he coping with his life outside the country? I have so many questions bumping in my mind with the scarcity of money in Nigeria. Now, how does he cope with work and market stuff? Of course, he will cook now. Auntie Victoria, now you say make we dey ask questions.
All right, my brother, this country now, the thing is, for people that are not in the country, there is no way you can describe the current situation in Nigeria and they will be able to relate with it. I mean, it's ridiculous. It looks utterly ludicrous. Like, it doesn't answer to common sense in any way. There's no logical or reasonable explanation to give to how there is no cash. I mean, it's making a lot of things difficult. I spent inordinately on Uber, and it's crazy because you don't have cash and it makes some kind of movement difficult. It's just crazy. It's crazy. And, you know, I've had people, I know of people, I mean, my brother was gisting me which day that there are people in his office who have requested from him that they should, because to allow them to be placed, on duty all through the night so that they will have off days for a number of days because of this cash crunch. And it's particularly crazy for me. I mean, I got someone in my workplace to help me get some cash, and I was mincing the cash. Like, I was spending it just on transport. Any other thing, no. But every good thing comes to an end, as they say. Now, that cash don't finish. My eye, I don't see shake. If you have cash,
your eye don't click.
My brother, if you have cash, let us know you can arrange for me. I swear down.
Oh no, I just think the situation in Nigeria is so sad. Every time my husband tells me, it always seems so weird. Like, I'm like, I've not, it's been a while people complain about cash. Are you sure you're not the one not going to bank? And then he'll be like, you don't understand. I'm like, but this doesn't even make any sense. Like, you have money in your account, but you cannot spend it, you cannot withdraw, you cannot. And Nigeria is so dependent on cash. I was telling my husband, like, this is one of our problems. I can't remember the last day I spent cash on anything, like absolutely anything, because cash is not like, even if you have, like, it's so not safe to have so much cash. But anyway, I feel so bad for, you know, what's good. But I pray that, you know, things get better soon. As you say, you cash. Which kind of cash? Can you spend my cash over there?
You first send it, no?
Hey, it's like thief want to be in your eyes, small. His other question is, when is Mr. Fast joining you, and how is he coping with his wife outside the country? I think he already answered the coping aspect. As to when is he joining me, stay tuned. Watch out for part 2. Stay tuned. Anyway, so I think this is where we're going to end the video for today. Mr. Fash, we were supposed to start this video hours ago, but him and his laptop, they are just giving me a headache for I don't even understand. He delayed me and he has stressed me today. But
we are sorry. Don't worry.
Anyways,
maybe you asked me to record video.
What will you not do? Okay. You not record.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I
you don't know,
apologize.
my brother. You don't know. Even if I don't even call you, you know the people that they will come and arrest you. Maybe they are the one that be asking of you.
Right.
Anyway, so if we're unable to get to your questions, don't worry, we're going to be recording another video to answer the remaining questions. If you're yet to ask your questions, please leave them in my community tab. You'll see I made a post with a picture of myself and my husband. Go to community on my channel. You see home, video, community. Yeah, go to community. You will see the content there. You can leave your comment over there, or you can leave it in the comment section of this video. If this has been super, if you found this entertaining or helpful, please leave a comment below. Make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to this channel, and yeah, share this video. You never can tell who this is going to help. Yeah, so as many of you, you know, the August visitors, I forgot to greet you. You're welcome. All of you that only come when you see Mr. Fash on the channel, you are highly welcome. Thank you very much for honoring us with your dignified presence. God bless you. Please make sure you come back again, because there are a lot of things going on this channel. You are missing a lot, okay? Anyway, Mr. Fash, do you have anything to say before we round up?
I wanted to say that on behalf of those that come when Mr. Fash is around, I mean, I'm your guy. I'm loyal to you.
You are loyal to them.
Instead
of me to be encouraging them to come when you are not here, you are loyal to them. It's no problem.
I deal with you guys, but you guys you used to jump the gun. But then, nonetheless, you guys will help me. You'll help me to keep coming back for more. If you understand, you maintain the, how they used to call it now. You maintain the energy whether or not I'm there. Do you understand? But so don't become, because you allow some people to be talking to me
anyhow
that I really do not. Do you understand? So please stay, even when I'm not around. Please.
It's me that is some people.
So that those people will
it's
not
me
be.
That is some people.
You understand?
It's not your fault. It's condition that make crayfish nyash to be bended. Say yeah.
Na condition make crayfish bend, not be condition make crayfish nyash bend.
Crayfish nyash na bend. Crayfish body straight.
No, not the nyash.
If the nyash stay with the curve of the body, it goes straight. Now the nyash na bend, not be crayfish itself na bend. Okay?
That's how you see a crayfish. Look at it.
I've seen crayfish before. I'm not talking about those small crayfish.
No. You see that it's the upper part of the body. It's the upper part of the body that actually
it's the bum that curve. Ha! Mr. Fast, it's the bum that curve. I cook with crayfish all the time. Okay? Children of God, let us know in the crayfish. Is it the upper part of the bum that curve? Let us know in the comment section. In the crayfish.
You know that crayfishes are like cockroach of the sea.
So, what's your point?
So, what stops you from eating cockroach and you can eat crayfish?
What's your point?
That's what I'm saying. What stops you from eating cockroach?
The bum of the crayfish that is curving.
Well, I just thought to drop another nugget.
You just wanted to drop nugget. I mean, you wanted to know that you know that crayfish is the cockroach of the
other. No, it's you that I'm dropping it for.
There are people that used to eat cockroach. Okay, I remember my father used to work in Kaduna. He used to bring some kind of it's grass cutter. It's not. I didn't eat cockroach. Okay, please.
That's not cockroach. Now there's edible grasshopper.
Grasshopper is the cockroach of the grass. Okay. It's the cockroach of the grass. It's not only you that know. It's not only you that know nuggets. Grasshopper is the cockroach of the grass. Okay, go and ask grass, they will tell you. Thank you guys so very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, let us know. Until we meet again, I still remain your favorite baby girl, Victoria, and this annoying man, but sweet and delectable, and you know, this man here is. You want me to continue to praise you? Don't open your mouth and say your name so that we end this video.
Well, my name is Wole, and thank you for having me once more. Thank you for the sweet invitation. I've been here to respond to your call. Please keep the invitation coming, but if it's too much, my head will swell, so don't let it be too much. But nonetheless, thank you guys. It's been a great time coming back here, and we hope that whatever we discussed today have been helpful to you. Please let me add this to say these things. Please drop your comment, like, and click the subscribe button, and keep coming back for more. And what else again? If you have not subscribed to Truth and Taste podcast.
I know Yemi will come to this comment and come and give you accolade.
So please subscribe and follow up. They do amazing stuff there. Yes.
Anyways, thank you guys so very much for joining. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Okay. Until then, have an amazing week. Bye.